Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Dibbler, and as always, thank you for joining us. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We do this every weekday. We start at 1 o'clock. We go throughout the afternoon. I always like to remind everybody of that, and you can download that Fox 12 Oregon app. Great way to watch us live or after the fact. Right now, we're talking about a date coming up. Halloween is almost upon us, and it is time to once again think about the safety of your pets around Halloween. There's a number of different things that can get them into trouble, get you into trouble. Nobody wants that. We're going to talk about that right now and some good safety tips just to keep in mind. To do that, we have Jessica Waters from DoveLewis, and always great to have you on here as well. And so, you know, I want to start off with this because this is always a good reminder for myself as well. I am a dog owner, but I forget sometimes what the important safety tips are to know, and it's great to go through those again. So, Jessica, to start off, what do you think is one of the biggest things that people should be thinking about here with Halloween coming up?
One of the biggest things is keeping in mind that it's a big change in routine. There's lots of extra people around. And of course, our ingestion of things that we shouldn't, like chocolate, candy, wrappers, decorations, things like that.
Yeah, so knowing that those things are out there and that your pets can get into those. When you talk about, because I want to get into the candy side of things, but talking about the people side. So when there's so many people, you know, maybe coming to your front door, ringing the doorbell, different people around in costumes, all of that, you know, what are some things that you can do to help maybe mitigate some of those issues and anxiety concerns that dogs or even cats can have during that?
Yeah, I think it depends on the family, but with people, there's a couple factors here. So we have people coming to our house that lots of doorbell ringing and things like that, and then the door opening multiple times. So we could be at risk of escaping and, you know, getting lost or being injured while lost, things like that. And then also just being really stressed or fearful of the doorbell ringing multiple times, having people's voices that they don't recognize, lots of excitement, things like that. I know personally, I'll be keeping my dogs crated in my bedroom with some soft noise on and things like that.
Soft noise, that's a good idea. So just something to kind of block out all the noise and commotion that's happening?
Just a little bit, yeah. They have quite a few playlists out there that are like soothing dog playlists and things like that.
That's good. I will look those up myself. That's a great idea. So that's a way to help maybe handle some of that stress that can happen with that. When it comes to candy, you know, chocolate, I feel like a lot of people know, you know, dogs shouldn't have chocolate, but there's some other candies and things out there that they really need to avoid as well. Can you walk through those just so people really understand what those are?
Yeah, the other big one besides chocolate is going to be candies that have xylitol, which is a alcohol sweetener that is added into sweetened things, but it can be very toxic to dogs mostly.
And what would an example of that kind of candy be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Maybe not brand specific,
but
I mean,
mind first is gum, like
gum.
like a Trident and things like that. But it's really in quite a few candies, especially when they're like the lower sugar.
So these are the sugar alternative kinds of things. Mm-hmm. If it says sugar-free, there's a chance that it may have that particular chemical in it.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay. So, and something to avoid. Now, say that your dog does get into, and I keep saying dog, but I'll just say pet. Say that your pet gets into some of that candy that they're not supposed to. I mean, it can happen even if you're keeping good eyes on them. But if it does, you know, and something like that occurs, what are the first steps you should do?
If you know that they got into it, you should bring them on into the hospital. You know, DoveLewis is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, and we will be seeing lots of cases of dogs and sometimes cats getting into things that they shouldn't. So bringing them into the hospital and having us help with decontamination.
Now, if you're not sure if they did or not, what are some warning signs that you can look out for that would lead you to know that the dog has gotten into something?
Some that are pretty basic is going to be your like GI upset. They can get pretty anxious and excited with ingestion of chocolate. For xylitol cases, they can get sick very quickly, and you can see ataxia or wobbliness. Also vomiting and GI signs and things like that. Lethargy, so those kinds of things.
Okay, so if you start noticing those in your dog, then something's off, and you should bring them in. Okay. Anything else that you think, is important just to think about here with Halloween being upon us and just all the different activities that go with that when it comes to your pets?
Yeah, thanks. A couple quick things would be making sure that your pet has proper identification on and that your microchip is updated. Um, and then also keeping an eye on decorations and costumes that may be around, just to make sure they're not ingesting anything like that. Be mindful of wrappers too, and like the uh, lollipop sticks and things like that.
Oh, lollipop sticks. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So that's definitely something, yeah, to keep away from them. Anything else specifically that you should make sure to do, or any good tips on just good practices to make sure that they don't come into contact with something like that?
Always keep things up and elevated. I'm noticing my decoration, other side, whatever's happening. Um, Decorations that are up high, keeping the bowls off the ground. I know it's really easy to leave them like right next to the front door and things like that, but just making sure that you're keeping them high up and pushed back on the counter if you have larger dogs.
Yeah, that's my situation right there. It's usually top of the refrigerator is the safest bet in my house. But yeah, okay. So some great advice right there. And anything else that you think people should know?
If you do need to bring your pet in, again, we're open 365 days a year and 24 hours a day. Know that we work like a human animal hospital, so it's most critical emergencies are seen first, but know that the people behind DoveLewis are working really hard to see your pets.
All right. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate the information and good advice for out there for everybody, Halloween or any other time of year. Having that stuff around to make sure that your pets stay safe and keep them out of the candy. That's number one. Keep them out of the candy and no escaping. And I really like the idea of the dog playlist. I'm going to look those up to see if I can find those.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us.
having me.
All right, and for everybody watching too, this is Fox 12 Now. As I mentioned, we're live streaming here out of the newsroom. You can check out all of our segments there on the Fox 12 Oregon app, kptv.com, or wherever you're finding us. Thanks for doing so. Cover a wide range of topics, and we will talk to you soon with more. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12
How
Now.
to leave. There we go.